click here to start. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. I apologize. I'm a few minutes late. Whew, what a morning. I don't know about you guys, but this new moon, I was listening to a new astrologer this morning, and no wonder I'm all over the place because it's really affecting Virgos, Pisces, Sagittarians, and Geminis, this new moon. If you are any of those and you are just having issues, welcome to the world of the new moon and this solar eclipse, or solar eclipse. We have actually 2 solar eclipses a year and 2 equinox a year. So for those of you that don't know a lot about planets, and I'm still learning as well, so if somebody knows more than I do, please go ahead and tell me about it. So I thank those of you that are already here. I think I'm set. Wow. So for those of you that are brand new and you've not seen one of my videos before, thank you for coming. I'm going to explain a little bit really quick, so because you're here for the reading, not for me to jabber. So I'm Patty. I'm an empath. I do intuitive tarot. I do intuitive coaching, spiritual coaching. If you don't know what intuitive coaching is, it's sort of like counseling from the divine and energies like that. So that is sort of what that is about. Only I am a coach. I am not a counselor. I do have a lot of background in psychology and behavioral stuff, but I do this intuitively from the divine, of the way the divine wants you to walk your journey, not my journey, your journey. And a lot of the times, if you want a one-on-one with for that or tarot, I don't remember them a lot. If you want to record them, that's great, because it's not for me. I'm the conduit. So a lot of mediums and stuff, when they do that, we don't remember it because it's not for us, right? So there's that. So and then too, I don't know if I posted them down here. We've got the, oh my gosh, this new moon is setting us up for the huge conjunction on the 21st. This is going to be life-changing for everybody, not just one sign or 2 signs or whatever. It's going to be life-changing, because I'll go into that a little bit later. But this new moon is setting us up for that. So again, if you're just popping on and you're having a struggle today, the 14th, this is the new moon day, the solace, and if you're a Virgo, if you're a Gemini, if you're a Sagittarius, if you are a Pisces, you're going to feel these energies, and they're going to be intensified. So really be mindful today on if you're angry, if you're getting angry, if you get angry a little bit, that's going to intensify. If you're full of joy, that's going to intensify. So just know that during these times, let's see, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Hey, if you guys are not getting smooth video, let me know, because I'm going to try to keep this as smooth as I can. But these energies are going to intensify, not only from the new moon. These energies that the new moon are bringing in are going to be through the end of the year, because they're going to meet up. Once these, because if on the 14th, 15th, 16th, they're really intense. And that last night I went to the grocery store and I had to pick up some medicine, and the pharmacy didn't have it. And I just snapped, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is going on with you? I forgot that we're in the new moon. So those kind of things, they're going to intensify. So for those of you, again, that are brand new, we'll do this. We'll talk about it a little bit. Then we'll go into a reading about you and your energies. So I can give you the overall energies or what are going to be happening. And then we'll go into your energies for that. For not only the 14th. I did your readings already from the 14th through the 16th, but we're going to get in today's energies. And I can imagine they're a little bit like this. So, and then the last announcement is Divine asked me to do 2 videos this last week. I always do what he tells me to do. So there's one on destiny versus purpose. For those of you that are learning about empath, about your spirituality, awakenings, really sort of a must see, because a lot of people think destiny and purpose is the same thing. It's not. And it's really important to know your destiny to get to your purpose. The other one video that he had me do was because you guys keep asking me, are they coming back? Or is he coming back? Or is she coming back? And Divine says, just let him know. So that's where those 2 videos are. So you're very welcome to go back and watch those. So let's get started. So for a lot of you that are brand new, we have a new moon once a month, and we have a full moon once a month. We're in the new moon. The new moon begins to go towards the full moon, and that is going to be sort of a waxing time where we need to be releasing. We've been in the abundance now for the first part of December. Now we're going into releasing, which is going to make sense here in a few minutes, because the new moon is extremely intense. So if you had a lot of 9s come up in your readings this week, it's because the energies are going to get intense more and more and more until this Jupiter Saturn conjunction on the 21st. We'll have to watch that video. That video is going to be big, because this one's just leading up into, because the conjunction on the 21st is not only going to change for a few weeks, this is going to change for years and years and years. Could even last 20 years, could be lasting up to 200 years. Anyway, we'll go into that in the next video. So what we want to remember is that in the new moon, and we have a eclipse going on at the same time. So this is really, really extraordinary, powerful energies. So it's almost like a catapult. You might be feeling really, now it depends. Again, this is going to affect Virgos, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces more, but might feel these energies of like anxiety, a little bit unsettled, those kind of things, because that is normal for that kind of thing to happen when you have an eclipse on top of it. So that definitely is going to be noticeable. So let me see here on my notes. So we actually have the sun and the Sagittarius and the moon beginning to line up on this. And so what that does is it brings more clarity. It has a little bit more clarity to what might be happening. Now, this might happen in the next couple of days, because remember, we're really in the intense couple of days for the full moon or the new moon. So you're going to start getting a little bit more clarity. But what you're going to get more clarity on is about your inner self. And you're going to notice things. You're going to see things in a different light. No, I don't want to talk about that yet. Sorry. So you want me to talk about egos, and that's not where I want to talk right now. The transition between the power of the moon and the planets that keep moving forward, it begins to unfold sort of like a picture. This is something that has happened in our history over and over and over and over again for about thousands of years. So we want to make sure that we understand that the energies that for the new moon that are being set up for the 21st, you're going to have to be mindful in how you are feeling, how you're projecting, and remember, okay, thank you. So they're wanting to make sure that because this is going to be happening, that you are going to feel, have you ever had a deja vu moment where you thought you've been there before? It's sort of that sense, a clarity of like, I've done this before. If you don't believe in dimensions, you might begin to believe in dimensions, because those kind of things might come to fruition. It's like, I've done this before. It's like a clarity. It's like, what is going on? What is happening? And you're going to ask your consciousness a lot of questions, and you're going to want to get more clarity on yourself and who you are and what is going to move forward. It's sort of like your mindset, because of the way that the planets are beginning to align and getting ready for this conjunction, is that you're going to want to think inwardly rather than outwardly. Now, some of your signs, when I read them this week, I used the scenario about the racehorse, about the blinkers because of the noise and the distractions out there. That's sort of what's going to be happening. There's going to be so much distraction, so much noise, that you really want to focus in on what's happening with you and how you can better yourself, because that's going to be huge in the future with the planets and the conjunction towards the end of the month, and something you're going to have to carry for years to come. And we'll talk about that the next time. But that's the thing, is that there is a transition of power from external to internal. And I don't know if that'll make sense with some of you or not, but that is sort of where that is going. So let me also too, I was listening to this new astrologer this morning, phenomenal lady. She's out of England. And what she described is, for this new moon, it's like we're coming into a really big awakening, a spiritual awakening. It's like a shifting of times. And the shifting of times is, and how I can explain that, and hopefully you'll understand it, is that we're shifting of times from the external and what's happening is to more of an internal spiritual. So we're going to see more of a shift of people having more faith and belief in different things spiritually rather than materialistically. And that's going to be a really big thing, because everything is changing. And like, this energy is getting ready for us to realize that we cannot have what we had before. I don't know if that makes sense for anybody, but we cannot have what we had in the past, because it's not going to be there anymore. It's sort of like when you're in a relationship and you break up, and maybe you dream and you fantasize about coming back together again, and you dream and fantasize about it. But then if you do come back together, it's nothing like that. It's not what you fantasized about. That's what this new energy with the new moon is saying. It's going to want you to look at the reality and not the fantasy, not the illusions or be disillusioned, but look at the facts. And these energies are going to carry over until the 21st as well, because there's a huge shift coming. And if you don't believe that, think about this for a second. We talk about the moon, we talk about the planets, we talk about, how about Earth? Let's take Earth. If you don't believe a shift is happening, not only for us internally, but for us as a collective, between not only the universe and just the Mother Earth, you have to sort of look at what the planets do. And it is like, for example, Earth, it has a magnet field around it, correct? So, and that's science. So, but everything is shifting, and we're actually moving off. The North Pole is moving, and even they have to change the GPSs very frequently so that the airplanes actually can land at the airport rather than down the few miles down the field, because that's how much our planet is shifting. We're having solar flares, humongous solar flares on the sun that really project further out, and they're more and more. Not only are they bigger, they're becoming more and more. This is science. This isn't the cards. This isn't that kind of, this is science. So if the planet's shifting and our galaxy and our solar system is shifting, why aren't we? We can even tell our tides. If you see the tides come and go, those are shifting due to the energies that the moon is projecting on the earth as a pull. So we have a pull. Why, like today, a new moon, do we have emergencies rooms full on a full moon or a new moon? There's connections to that. Now, just for the future, before I go into a reading, is that not only are we having an awakening, and we need to go inward to think about ourselves, not only spiritually, but what we want, what we desire. This new moon, and I've said it quite a few times when there's a new moon, but with the new moon, there is an energy where you have to plant your seed. What do you want to do for 2021? What kind of goals do you want? What do you want to do for your future? This is the time, and I'll say you really, really want to take it seriously between now and the end of the year, because these energies that are happening right now are allowing you to plant them so that they do come into fruition in 2021. So a lot of people are waiting for 2021 for this, for the pandemic to get over and all that kind of stuff. Well, the major part of the pandemic may be over coming 2021. I'm getting too far ahead, but I'll share this with you, and this is part of what's going into um, um, the 21st with the conjunction, is that we're going to be actually in waves and shock waves like the ocean tide. This is what we have the pandemic 2021. It's still going to be in 2021. I hate to say it, but it is going to be there for a while. However, when that is finished, then we have the repercussions of what economically, socially, culturally, what this is going to be happening. Now we have the waves of what's going to happen, how it's going to be fixed, and it's nothing coming back. It's a whole new era. This is a shifting of times. This is one of the major things. That's why astrologers and astronomers are saying that this conjunction is so huge, because it hasn't happened in 800 years. But the other thing too, it happens every 20 years. And if you look at the history of the world, even in the United States, if you're living in the United States, is that you can see every 20 years how there's a contraction and then there's an extraction, and then there's a contraction and an extraction. And I'll explain all that on the 21st. So for you guys, it really is going to be important for you to sit right now, as whatever sign you are, to think about what you want for your future for 2021 for yourself. This is not a journey for you to be looking at other people right now. This is not what's supposed to be happening. The energies are supposed to be inward towards you. What you're going to do. What are you going to do your family? Well, how you're going to protect your family. How you're going to, you take care of your family or yourself. The huge thing that is going to be really important for all of us, me included, because I noticed it last night, and that was a huge thing for me, because I just really shifted bad. I don't like acting that way. I don't like being short. I don't like being agitated and angry. And I had to walk around the grocery store and I literally was breathing. It's like, and then it was so busy, it was very hard as an empath to keep that bubble completely surrounded and bounce them off. You literally sometimes have to close your eyes up and bounce off the energies, because if there's so many, they can just go on you. So you're wiped out, and then you've absorbed all those energies, and then you've got to go cleanse and all that kind of stuff. It's just too much. So I noticed that. So if you're noticing that, make sure that you lift your vibrations up. If you're starting to feel angry and agitated, this is in the next until the end of the year. If you're starting to feel angry and agitated, then what you want to do, especially this week, is think of things that bring you joy. Step out in nature. Go become a tree hugger. Hug a tree. Well, if it's too sappy, you don't want to do that. But I'm serious. You need to ground yourself, whether you're petting animals or touching animals or holding on to animals or taking your shoes off. I don't know if you can in the winter, wherever you are, take your shoes off and literally step on that ground and stay there for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of grounding on the earth, the literal earth, no shoes, no nothing, just your feet to the earth is going to really give you some ions that really help you ground. I don't know about some of you guys, but I do feet detox grounding with ions and things like that, because it's really important to clean and cleanse our bodies, because we take in so much crap. So these are really important things, not only now through the end of the month, because what you absorb is going to intensify. If you're in a relationship and things start getting heated, make sure you diffuse. And I teach that in Get Balanced 2020, is to diffuse the argument. Walk away, do something, tell a joke, but diffuse the argument, because if you don't, this is a time where you're going to explode, and that's not what you want to do. These energies are powerful. New moon, solace, eclipse, powerful. Slower moving, more powerful. Even the faster moving planets right now, they're still powerful, but this eclipse and new moon is extremely powerful. And it will be the biggest powerful until for this week, for the whole week of the 14th. That's why in my readings, I'm like, be kind, breathe, go out into nature, do those kind of things. The other thing too is that there is going to be for the future, just after the new moon, there's going to be an exhilaration. There's going to be like not an enlightenment, but you're actually going to have sort of an awakening. And some of those might be like, wow, yeah, sort of light bulb moments, that kind of thing. Hey, Felix, welcome, welcome. Yeah, petrified wood, very, very good. Yeah, definitely. That's a really good idea. So those for petrified wood, for people who have some petrified wood laying around, that's a really, really good grounding. Turoline's good for grounding. Turine, I think if I pronounce it wrong every single time. But yeah, so these are really going to be really important for you guys. I will say the new moon energy, though, has some real positive things coming to it. Again, if you're Virgo, Gemini, you're going to just notice these more. It's for everybody, but the thing is, some signs are going to notice them more. The Virgos, Geminis, Sagittarian, and Pisces, those are ones that are going to really notice it and feel it more. But there's a lot of good positive energies coming with that, because the solace usually brings positive, and the I was going to say elixirs. They bring more of they're positive. The solace brings more inward. It brings more abundance. Put it that way. Yes, black tourmaline. I say it wrong every time. Yeah, I carry it with me a lot. So I went. I live in Oregon, and I had my daughter drive. I did a full circle. I don't know what's going on with me right now, but full circles are really important to me. I hadn't been to this crystal shop in 35 years, but that's where my journey began with all of this. I was in a pyramid room, and I had an experience that I'd never had before, but I also was so sensitive. I couldn't stand in the crystal shop, but the lady who brought me there originally has passed on, and I don't know if her energies are near me, but it was really important for me to go back to this shop. The owners are now in their 80s. And we went there this weekend, and a very different experience. Remember, we said the old is never going to be the same. Well, this wasn't the same, but it was just enlightening. And I think it was for me to tell the elders that, my friend had passed on, but she had gone there a lot. And she must be here because I'm getting goosebumps. But the thing is, we have to remember that the old is not going to be the same. Remember the fantasies, the illusions, the disillusions. You have to stop thinking about those kind of things that, and thank you. So they're also saying the what ifs. You cannot do the what ifs. Well, what if they come back and this? No, you can't do that. You have to go again. Expectations plus reality is going to equal what? Expectations is you, reality is the other person, and then the outcome is what? So if your perception and your expectations are off, and because of this person doesn't act or do the way that you thought it was going to do, then you're either hurt or whatever. You can't do that from this time forward. You have to go by what is reality. You have to ask, you have to be a little bit, take that mask off, or not be so fearful to go out and find out the truth of things, because fantasy, illusions, delusions are going to go bye-bye, because we're going to be going into air. We're going into Aquarius. We're now going to be moving this whole thing. We're now in Capricorn. We're going to be moving the whole shifting into Aquarius. And as some of the astrologers are saying, it is not, the shift of Aquarius or the Aquarius times or whatever. It's not that. It's something different. So definitely have to really I would, for me, I have to write things down. I have to set these goals. I have to be able to look and see them. Then I have to speak them into life. And I'll tell you that really works. With the divine, it definitely does. Everything that I've asked for. Well, we had a discussion because there is one thing he hasn't given me, but I'm not dead yet. So, yeah. So that kind of energy. So we've got one card out for now remember, this is for today's energies. This is for the full moon energies. These energies will probably last about a week. And I'm going to say whatever I'm pulling is going to be for this week. Now, remember I said that whatever energy you're carrying today at this moment in time is going to intensify. So if you're really struggling, having a hard time, or have a negative energy, there was I'm on Facebook on a couple of empath groups, and they were talking. One person who does videos, he was talking about negative energies, being negative, and having those pull forward. Those are very low vibrations, very destructive live vibrations, rather than constructive and higher vibrations. And I was trying to explain that on his thing too, as well, to help highlight, put it not that way, help accentuate. So, because he's a little newer, I think, but you want to make sure that you are not carrying those low vibrations, these destructive energies forward. So what is it in your mindset? What is it in your spirit? What is it that you are wanting to project and see in your future? So it's sort of like, is it the sacred pool, where you are a mirror of what you want? You are a mirror of what you give off. And I sometimes, let me tell you, I'm Irish and I got a short temper sometimes. And sometimes like my daughter says, wow, you can be really mean. Like, you can be really vengeful. And I have to pull myself back, because remember the shadow work. We all have shadow work that we have to do. That's my shadow work. Because, yeah, I can be the nicest person, but I'm also a Virgo. You piss me off, and let me tell you, you get in my face. I'm not trying to take you out. But I don't like to feel that way. Honestly, I don't. And I have grown up and changed over the time and the years. So, but those energies will explode. Like last night, they were exploding. I literally had to pull myself back in energy-wise and fight and fight and fight myself. That is not only that. If you believe in the devil, that's also the devil too. Yeah, come on, yell. Come on. Blow up in front of them. You're out in the public. Yeah, go ahead, blow it. Come on, yeah, do it. And really, it's just like I had to do everything in my power to hold it in last night. Had to have a beer too. I mean, I was like, I literally couldn't hold it in last night. So I'm human just like you guys, okay? Even though I'm an empath, I do have to watch. I will say these new moons and full moons in the last 3 months, my energies are changing. They're extremely powerful to me, and I really get wacky off the charts. So, okay, so for the 14th, which is halfway through for a lot of you guys, especially Felix, probably in the next day over there in Germany, right? But for here, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've got commitment. So for today and for this week, you're going to be looking at commitment. Now, that is very intense. That's number 9. Again, intense energies, and this is 100% right on. The energies are going to be intense. So what is it that you're committing to? What is it you want to make a commitment to? Yes, this shows love. We all want love, right? But it could be, as I say in my readings, it could be a love of a passion, love of a whatever it is, desire what you want, that kind of a thing. So really, but again, I'm going to go backwards and say, remember, this commitment has to be you towards you, or help someone think about themselves and what they need to do for the future. Teach someone to keep the blinders on like a racehorse for a while, because they're really going to do that. The news is going to just explode, especially the 21st. We got the inauguration coming up. We got on the 21st, we got the solstice. We've got winter. It's going to be crazy. So make the commitment to yourself that you're going to really focus and concentrate on your conscious mind of how you want to move forward. Don't let the subconscious tell you. Don't let that little devil of a person on your shoulder tell you how to move. Let your spirit tell you how you're going to move, what you're going to focus on. Make some plans. Think for now, but do make a few plans in the future, because it is going to shift and change. And if you're doing things in the old way, just know that it's not going to be able to probably work that way. You're going to have to change a little bit with times. Just like our planet is beginning to shift and move. And, you know, and it probably doesn't want to change either. But the thing is, it's shifting and moving. So make that commitment to yourself. Here is why this next card is so important. 10, 11, 12, so 3 exactly. So for this week, protect your heart, protect your mind, protect your circle, protect everything in your garden. Okay, so we always talk about the garden, right? And you're the plant in the middle and the weeds and, you know, the fence, who you letting in and all that kind of stuff. If I haven't used that scenario in one of your readings, it will come up because I use it all the time. So, but it's also the number 3. You know, it says 39, but it transforms into the number 3 for numerology, and that means acknowledgement. Acknowledging everything that you are doing, and it has to be your journey. It cannot be somebody else's journey. Oh, and that brings me to another person here this morning that had, you know, they were so, when you lose yourself in somebody, so you do everything for them, you do it their way, you do it the way they love it, you do it, you know, you just fully put yourself into somebody, that is not healthy. You're not protecting your heart, your journey, your goal, your desires. That's what this week is about. This person just and it's now balanced. When I teach Get Balanced 2020, you got to have balance. When you put yourself 100% into somebody, you lose yourself. Then you lose your journey. And then the divine's up there like, seriously, now I got to wait for that person to really lose that person so she or he can be back on track again with me. We just stepped back time, probably lost 10 years of time. You're going to lose your time. You're going to lose your opportunities and the time to move forward, you know, for something. So you have to do this for your journey. Don't have any regrets. Do not have any regrets. I won't go into that now. When my daughter and I drove to Seattle this weekend, she brought some stuff up and I was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, do you regret that? And I'm like, yeah, I really sort of do. Because I was not following my journey, put it that way. All right. So let's see what else is going to go on this week for the rest of the week for you guys. And now this is a collective. Remember, this may resonate with you. It may not. There may be parts of it that resonate with you. Yeah, exactly. Intuition, 100%. This week, really, really, really pay attention to your intuition. Now, somebody is planning to get in deeper and deeper into a relationship. I don't know who that is, but if you're going to get into deeper and deeper into a relationship, somebody is listening to their intuition and it's feeling really good. But this other person is not listening to their intuition and they're ignoring the red flags. Now, that was somebody's, I can't remember whose reading that was, but you're ignoring the red flags because you're not paying attention to the spirit side of who you should be with. You're paying attention to the earth side. You're actually, thank you. Okay, so the divine says, I give you what you need, not what you want. I give you who you need, not who you want. So you talk to him, not me. But this is very true, because when we are weak in something, he gives us a person that is strong in something that we're weak in. If we are strong in something and the other person is weak, he gives us them because that person is weak and needs to learn how to become strong in something. That's why when we say, oh, opposites attract, they do attract because we are supposed to be a complement to another person and help each other grow. We're not there to be, I complete you 100%, or he completes me. Jerry Maguire. But that's the point, is that we are not to complete somebody else. We are to enhance or complement somebody else. So somebody is not listening and they're like, you know what? Oh, but you know, that's just the way they are. Ah, they're just being a guy, or they're just being a girl. No. You're just allowing something to be manipulated that you need to let go, or you need to reevaluate. Is this really the commitment I want to be in before it's too late? Before you pop a question or before you accept a ring, make sure it's too late. Before it's too late, because again, divine is saying protect the treasure. The treasure, as we know it from a lot of my readings, is your heart. It's your spirit. It's your soul. That is the thing that you want to protect. So for those of you that are getting into a commitment or even into a relationship, or somebody's moving in with somebody, are you sure you want to do that? If you have any inkling that it's something that you shouldn't be doing, you better double check yourself. Okay, so let's see what else we got going. Yes, so here's the thing. Thank you. So the intuition is working on stability. So number 4 is about stable, being stable, growing a stable outcome, growing something that is stable. It could be your work. It could be your, it could be your relationship. It could be your desires, trying to grow some stability. Somebody might not know a lot about finances again. So here's the problem though. Whoever's being unstable with this energy this week, remember you're in the new moon now. Whatever you do, whatever you say is going to accentuate. You're planting a seed. You're literally planting a seed. And if you hold on to the past, which that's what the 4 of Pentacles is about, holding on when you need to be letting go. And that's now we're moving from the new moon to the full moon. Let it go. Let it go. If you hold on, then you're going to actually end up instead have more burden. So the burden is trying to end and release. And that's this new moon too. The new moon is about starting something fresh and new, starting something that is going to boost you in a positive, higher vibration. And if you're carrying a burden, it's because you're not letting go of what you need to be letting go. You know what that is. I don't. A lot of the times we don't want to let go of old relationships. Oh, but if he would just come back. Oh, if she would just come back. Let it go. And the thing is, if you let it go and they do come back, how about a year later, not 2 weeks, they haven't grown or learned squat in a week or two. Let me tell you, even in a year, some people don't even learn. Then you're going to end up in the same cycle, same pattern, same situation in 2021. So we have the 10 of Wands that is wanting to end something, and we have the Queen of Swords that wants the truth. Remember, new moon is to not believe in the fantasies, the illusions, the disillusions. And the thing is, when you're delusional, it's like you're not thinking straight, right? You're sort of not clear of what you're supposed to be thinking about. The only way to get back with a clear mind is to step out in nature, ground yourself. Again, ground yourself. Whenever you feel like you're losing your grounding, you need to grab onto whatever it is that's going to ground you. Because that means then you're not going to think with a clear head. You're not going to make good choices. You're not going to make good decisions. And you're going to end up in a situation either in a cycle like before. Oh my gosh, I can't make this up. Back to back. Look for the truth. Look for what is real. Look for what is honest. Look for, Integrity. Thank you. So they said integrity. Where is their integrity at? That will tell you how truthful a person is. If you sit back and ask certain questions or ask questions, you start dating for a couple of weeks, even a couple of days, it takes me a couple of hours, and I'll know if I believe you for one, or if we're actually going to move forward into a second date, because I don't need no low integrity. For me, I just don't, because I've been there, done that, and you know what it did? It kept me in a cycle for years. Yeah, so we've got the Three of Swords. Again, hurt. We don't want to be hurt over and over and over again. We're talking about swords. We're talking about truth. We're talking about getting the facts. Yes. This is new moon energy. This is new moon energy. Become your own detective. Thank you. Don't ask me why. Somebody said, that's what they said, and I don't know who that's for. But become your own detective. Become your own truth seeker. Thank you. So the next card out is Judgment. Now, this would all make sense because you're having to make decisions this next week for your future. This is the beginning of you making new decisions for your future. This is, how do I want my 2021 to go? This isn't a resolution. We don't do resolutions, okay? They're empty promises. They don't work. They're lying to yourself. That's not the way that it works. But we do set goals and things to not only change us and grow us, but now we have to make decisions based on earth or based on spirit. What you're going to find out in 2021, 22, 23 is you're going to watch people shift into more spiritual things. You're going to see them move more to something with a higher conscious level. You're going to see new awakenings, people questioning their belief systems and wanting to turn more to a belief system, because we're going into, and I don't want to go too much into the 21 the conjunction reading, but we're going into a complete cultural shift. It's a complete cultural shift. This is what's going to be happening at least for 20 to 200 years. This is like, and I'll go into that, but understand that it's going to be a cultural shift. It's going to be more spiritual because of all the things that are happening. The awakenings are going to happen. And whoever you lean on or believe in or whatever, like God for me, but the thing is, you're going to lean on those people that believe in that more. You're going to be asking them questions. How can I believe? How can I have bigger faith? How can I have, these are energies that are coming in after the 21st. Yeah. So for those people that are poo-pooing, the universe, poo-pooing God, poo-pooing Abba, Baba, whoever, is of a higher spiritual, the Hierophant, they'll be coming to them. Whether you believe, whatever belief it is that you believe in. All right. So that's why this Judgment card is coming up. What are you going to look at? The truth. Truth is spirit. Truth is God, spirit, whatever. Truth is that, because the thing is that when you even think of any faith or religion out there, what is the things that they all have in common? Truth, love, and light. All of them do. The only difference between a spirituality of any country or continent or whatever and Christian faith is that Jesus lived and died and also rose, but everybody else is dead. That's the only difference. But all faiths have the same: love, light, and most of all, truth. Truth to self first, so that you can be truth to whatever. And then you're the example, right? That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, exactly. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. So based on, if you're going to believe in Earth, yeah, and you can believe in Earth and have all the materialistic stuff you want. Great. But again, 2021 and the end of 2020 is all going to bring more spirituality. And I'll go into that on the 21st. I wish I could go into it now. I want to do it now, but I can't. But we're all coming to, and if you believe in yourself and make that commitment to yourself and make that commitment to yourself moving forward and to the people around you, it doesn't matter where you were. I used to be so good. I mean, my life turned 180. I used to be able to be the best liar and manipulator. I could sell you an iceberg in Iceland. That's how good I was. And why did all that happen? Because as a child, I was abused. I was sexually abused. I was told I was no good. I was formed that by the root. So how can I get attention? That's why. So anyway, that's not the way to be. Trust me, that is not the way to be. You get more blessings, more rewards the other way. All right, so let's go and see what else we've got going for this week's reading. I know some of you are asking me, but what about love for this week? If love doesn't come up in my reading, I may ask the divine about it, but if it doesn't come up, that means the divine's telling you work on yourself. Definitely work on yourself. So what did I say? Hierophant, I can't make this up. Again, we're moving towards more spirituality. You've got to awaken that in yourself. You've got to become excited, exhilarated about that in yourself. Because your answers are going to be there. And before you know it, you're going to have a light bulb moment. Oh, yeah, I should do that. And then it's going to go easy. Or, oh, yeah, somebody came into my presence that I needed for a resource. Oh, that was easy. Because it's all going to be a very spiritual journey for you, wherever that is or however that is. Some people believe in the universe. Well, the universe is all about frequencies. That's it. High vibrational frequencies, like radio frequencies. You have high, low, and all the things. Don't even get me started. The government really plays with those. But anyway, you have all different kinds of frequencies for radio frequencies. Your telephone and all that kind of stuff. I don't like to put a telephone to my head at all. There's too much in there. And also, too, it really messes with my psyche. So I try to use Bluetooth as much as I can or anything like that. Woo! We got the Empress and the Hierophant. The Empress and the Hierophant. Now, I would have hoped she was the High Priestess, but she's not. But she is a very powerful, powerful woman. But she's also a very nurturing woman. Again, we are talking about the new moon this week. We're talking about making sure that we're taking care of our body. Definitely. So this is where they're coming into the body. Nurturing yourself, loving yourself, making sure you're getting enough sleep. Are you exercising? Boy, I need to, trust me. Are you exercising? Are you putting good food into your body? These are things for 2021 you're going to need. It's going to be the survival of the fittest almost. So these are things that you're really going to possibly need. All right. Let me see what else there is. There's a lot. There's 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Not too much in money in here, other than, somebody needs to let go of it. But the 8 of Pentacles is a good card to have. But Knight of Wands, more powerful. More powerful. The Knight of Wands is something coming in communication-wise. And maybe that is for you, or maybe you're going to be communicating something to somebody this week. Again, this is new moon energy. This is something that somebody needs to hear. Again, we're gonna talk in the truth this week. Whoever you talk to, whoever you mindfully talk to, make sure it's in truth. And you know what? Don't make somebody feel good if they're asking you the truth. Just be honest and kind in how you say it, but be the truth. Because it's sort of like, it's really funny because people say something about, well, you sort of gained weight. No, I'm fat. I'm fat. I know what fat is. I'm fat. And there's nothing wrong with fat. You just have to understand what fat is. It's part of your body, but also, too, how fat works in your body. I mean, I'm in nutrition and fitness, so, I look at fat totally differently. But I would not go to another friend and say, no, you're fat. You're just fat. Now I just say, yeah, you've gained some weight and it's probably unhealthy and you probably want to think about maybe losing that extra weight. for your joints, for your health, and all that kind of stuff. But walking in the truth, whoever you come in this week, this is going to be really huge. Remember, get away from the illusions, get away from the fantasy, get away from the delusion kind of way of life anymore. and the if onlys. If only they come back, this could happen. If only. When my brother was murdered, I learned that very, very quickly from the victim's advocate, that I broke down in front of her and I said, if only I had been, and I started doing the if onlys. And if only I would have brought him home sooner, because you got to remember, I'm an empath, but one of my new abilities back at that time, that was in 1994. In 1991, I started hearing, and then I also started knowing things. Well, I knew my brother was going to be killed in Florida. I didn't know when, didn't know how, knew it was going to be soon, within the next 6 months. And I tried really hard to bring him home. So I was saying, if only I could have. We cannot do that to ourselves. That if you keep doing that, and not only, well, if I, majority of the time, if onlys never happen. So don't even use those words. If only I had. That's past. That's never going to happen. Just don't stay there. That's an illusion. It's delusion, and it's not real. It's false, because most of the time the if onlys will never happen. All right. So this is a really powerful energy, this new moon. It's even going to be more powerful the 21st. It doesn't seem like, with all the small things I'm talking about, it's really not that big of a thing. It is. And this is why I'm really pushing on making sure that you really look at whatever your burdens are, whatever you're doing for yourself, to release and let go and really listen to your intuition this week. Really hugely listening to it, because your intuition, because I heard somebody say, yeah, but isn't your intuition fantasy? Isn't your intuition illusion? No, it's not. Your intuition is spirit. Your intuition is energy. Your intuition is your GPS for your spirit side. Now, if you want to live earthly, don't listen to your intuition, and watch how that works for you. Been there, done that. So anyway, listen to your intuition, let go, because when you let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to, it could be, even your thought process. It's like those people that are takers rather than givers. But when you give and you switch that around and you give, your thought process changes, because now you're like, oh, that felt really good to give. I really enjoyed that. It doesn't mean money. Could be time, could be a thought, could be even just saying, hey, you look really, really nice today. You're giving a compliment, those kind of things. But you release the burden when you do that, and you put the things behind you, then you'll do that. All right. But again, really, you're going to really see a lot of this. The Hierophant, the spirituality. You're going to see people asking questions. You're going to see people wanting to change. Now they may not want to believe in religion. I don't. I believe in a relationship. Now, if people can have a relationship, yes, they can. How much of a relationship you want, that's between you and the divine. Not my kind of thing. But that's what you're going to see, is how they can learn, whether they're wanting to learn in Buddhism, Hinduism, they're wanting to learn Christianity, they want to learn the Torah, they want to learn, all kinds of stuff. That's up to the person. But again, people are going to want to get closer to that. I hope that all makes sense. I'm sorry, I'm just reading Felix's thing. The constellation on the 21st is so spectacular that after 400 years, we can see the Star of Bethlehem again. Yeah, they did talk about Bethlehem Star. They did. And it's really amazing that, a lot of faiths, they poo-poo what I do. But if you look at astrology, or if you look in that, that's what the wise men, one of the wise men was. That's how they found it. That's how they found that back then. But yes, it's amazing. And this is 800 years that this energy has going to be changed. And the only one thing I will share, if you're still on and hanging in there, is that the two planets, Saturn and Jupiter, Now, this is how amazing. You have to sort of picture this in your mind, that Saturn and Jupiter, okay, if you look at the moon and you cut it in half and you turn it and put it between those two planets, that's exactly how far apart they are. Half of the width of the moon. And you know how far that is? I don't know what country you're in, but that's like less than 2,000 miles. United States is 3,000 miles. I don't know how big Africa, I think Africa is 6,000, but 3,000 miles. Less than the United States width. Those planets are coming. Can you imagine the power and the energy, the vibrations just off of those planets moving that close side by side? Wow. Blow your mind. I think it blows my mind. I just think it's really, really cool. Anyway, you guys, now I know that some of this is not going to resonate with you, but I am just saying what the energies are giving for the week and what you might be thinking and doing. Again, making sure that you're walking in the truth, making sure others are walking in the truth, but do it in love. You know what? That's not quite right. That's not true. Now, that can't be your opinion. That's got to be the divine's truth, not earthly truth. But the thing is, if you know somebody's lying, call them on it. Why would you want somebody to keep walking in a way that's going to keep them going backwards rather than forwards? And everybody say, well, that's not my business. Yeah. Well, and that's the problem, is that goes into the 21st as well, about ego, ego. So just, walk in the truth, try to help walk in the truth there, because it's you're fighting against someone being in pain, somebody hurting, and they're looking at that. They're looking at that. So be loving and kind, and again, walk in spirit, be love, speak love, and love will come to you, come back. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And again, don't forget we have the 21st, but also the other two videos that I have out, Destiny versus Purpose, and then also when you keep asking about, are they coming back? That's the divine. Those are divine. I didn't plan on doing them. Divine says, do them today. And I'm like, so I did. So there's that. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you have a great week. Please be mindful that if you start getting irritated, that is the new moon's energies. Try to switch those around to a different. Try to find something joyful, calming, and to bring those down, because then that energy will shift and become bigger, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So, So then we'll see you then. And then we're running into Christmas week. Wow, can't believe it. Just can't believe it. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you, let's see, what is today? I'll see you on the 21st. All right, unless I see you for your readings. I'll be doing readings this week for the 21st through Christmas or whatever. So we'll see you this week. All right, take care. Love you guys.